If you were to bite off a kneecap, how would it look?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show. We are live from Levels, their grand opening today. Terry Foster joining me today. Terry,
I made it on time. I'm just happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been dangerous for me on being on remote. Yesterday, I almost lost a hand.
Yes.
And today, I almost got into an accident.
Well, the ironic part about it is it was actually the security guard working here who almost backed into you. Right. So now you have to spend the whole day looking at the guy who almost,
I don't even know what the guy looks like. I was just like,
well,
my car's about to get
it's
cracked.
That gentleman over there with the hat.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you want to, scrap,
just bust him up.
Let me know. All right, 10 o'clock, guys, tune in. We are going to go beat up the security guard, Terry Foster and I. Kennedy, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Super excited to be out here at Levels today. Adam, can you tell us a little bit about the event before we start?
Of course. Levels, this is their grand opening. So many amazing things happening down here. They're giving away a 2021 Dodge Challenger, so you have a car giveaway chance to win. They're featuring T Grizzly's Grizzly Gas, so that is a huge product they're pushing today. And they have food trucks, coffee shops all over the area. It's an amazing event, so get down here, support Levels, support Woodward Sports. It'll be a great time. But Kennedy, let's just get right into it. A lot of stuff happened yesterday.
Lots.
A lot of people talking and making very interesting comments. I guess we can start with Dan Campbell.
Yeah, Dan Campbell stays making weird comments. We've gotten the no turds. We've heard his coffee order. We've heard it all. But now he's labeling himself as an asshole. He has come out and said, I'm an asshole. So what do you guys think about that? Do you have any issues with what he said? Adam, I'm sure you do, so let's start with you.
Oh, no, you're totally wrong, Terry. I love what he said.
Wow.
Good. The same way I think Alavila should cut Miguel Cabrera the second he gets 3,500 is the same way I feel about Dan Campbell.
So you want Alavila to say, I'm an asshole?
Well, he's a dumbass. That's the problem. So, him coming out and saying he's an asshole, I've already lost faith in Alavila. But with Dan Campbell, I like that. It's a shitty decision. Yeah, unfortunately, it fell on his birthday. We should have.
You know what he's doing? He's owning it.
Yeah, I love that.
I messed up a little bit.
Well, I don't think he messed up. You were cutting the guy. That was the day to cut him. You cut his ass.
Well, he didn't want to cut him on his birthday, so he felt
he shouldn't have been born. He should have been. He should have been born on that day.
Here's the deal. Why? This is the only city in America where we would talk about a long snapper
and cry about it. Oh my God, you cut him on his birthday.
Why are they cutting Don Mule back in the first place?
Because Lions fans, over the 17 years he's been part of the organization, have done nothing, right?
But the snaps have been good.
The snaps have been good, and that is now considered to be an all-time great player for the Detroit Lions. It's amusing to me. But yeah, I didn't have a problem with Dan Campbell's comments, Terry. To be honest, I loved it. I love the fact that he owned up to it. It's you know what? These are the tough decisions you have to make when you're in a position that I am. And, I felt awful about it. It wasn't great. I'm an asshole, but you know what? That's just the guy I am. And I'm an asshole in a good way. I'm not an asshole just to, be an asshole. I'm an asshole because I have to communicate very clearly with everybody that I'm responsible for.
I have no problems with the comments. I thought it was refreshing because we in the media like when somebody's honest, open, and entertaining. What I don't understand was why was it necessary to cut Don Mulebach, who's done nothing wrong? All he does is snap the ball correctly.
Yeah, 40 years old. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Who pays attention to a long snapper?
Detroit does, because you have nothing else here.
Honestly, it blows my mind. But yeah, again, the comments, I thought it was great. Good. I want to see the same energy when they walk away from Jared. I don't want to see him walk up there and, we thank Jared for the last 2 years. We feel this is... No, you know what? We drafted a quarterback. We've been preparing for this moment. We're moving on from Jared Goff. We thank Jared for his 2 years here, and now we're looking to be a contending team.
Brother, you're going to jump off a bridge because that comment might be, we want to thank Jared Goff for the last 6 years here with the Lions. And
no chance.
We didn't win anything, but that's okay.
No chance. If Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes are booking their future jobs...
What organization is this?
It is the Detroit Lions.
Okay,
I will agree on that. I will agree.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. But, again, the Lions would be the only team to have 4 first-round picks in the next 2 seasons. having a bridge quarterback, and they still didn't draft a quarterback. It wouldn't surprise me, but it would be very, very disappointing. I think you could see Dan Campbell's job being called for if they walk out of the 2022 NFL draft and they haven't addressed the quarterback position, unless some miracle.
Well, wouldn't Brad Holmes be the one that you're like, hey, dude, what's up?
Well, when it comes to the quarterback, it's really the coach's relationship. The coach is going to be the guy going to the GM, hey, I can work with this guy. We can do something here. But, again, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, they're on the same page. You're not paying this guy $35 million. There's a saying, Terry, in the NFL about quarterbacks. When you first draft them, they love you. You're cheap, you're young, you're athletic, you're durable. They love you.
And you're not injured?
Once you enter your prime, they tolerate you. But you're expensive, so they tolerate you. You're giving them good results, but you're paying a hefty price for the quarterback position. And then the moment you show weakness, you show decline, get your ass out of town.
Yeah, that's basically it. And that will probably happen with Jared Goff. I'll admit that. And you notice his flaws are starting to come out in the media now, the interceptions and
yes,
things. So maybe the Lions are like, okay, maybe they're already at that stage.
I don't think they should protect them this year. They've tried so far in camp. Our Lions beat writer, Corey Woods, has addressed it multiple times since camp opened up, before even the preseason. Jared Goff doesn't look good. And he's got a good offensive line. They're giving him all the time in the world. Nobody's open. Again, maybe that's not Jared Goff's fault, but hey, this is the situation they put him in. I can always go back to the original comment I made when we drafted Penei Sewell and that draft unfolded the way it did. They're telling you everything they think of Jared Goff. They think he's a good quarterback. He can get them through the next 2 seasons if they needed him, but they're not paying him more than $25-30 million over the next 4 or 5 years. It's not worth it. Draft a quarterback, have a low salary cap, and you go out and get veteran free agents. I think the Lions are finally doing something competent in my lifetime.
The offense that they're running now, they can have me and you run that because they're not going up downfield.
Nope.
They're checked down, and Jared, his nickname might be Check Down Charlie. They want to run the football, which I don't think they're going to be as successful as they say they're going to be. But the bottom line is they are running an offense where they hope it just doesn't mess up.
Well, that's the problem.
Don't turn the ball over and let's get our little first downs. And
you can't win in the NFL in general. Over the last 20 years, if you can't move the ball downfield quickly, you're not going out 13, 15, 17 play drives every single outing. If you're relying on those kind of drives, you're done. Now,
brother, who said they're gonna win?
No, Terry, we don't got to talk about that. We all know who thinks the Detroit Lions are going to win a ton of football games. But look, we got to cut the break real quick. When we get back, the Angels swept the Tigers last night in spectacular fashion. A very disappointing game from the pitching. It's really something we haven't seen in a while from Detroit. Their bullpen giving up so many runs. But when we get back from the break, we'll talk about the Detroit Tigers.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Morning Woodward Show. We're out here at Levels today. All right, so if you missed it, we just talked about Dan Campbell labeling himself as an asshole. But now we're going to go ahead and talk about the Tigers game. So the Angels came back to complete the sweep against the Tigers. So what do you make of this team collapse, Terry?
How about the word embarrassing?
Yeah.
And, I thought their bullpen was good.
It's been pretty good.
Yeah, I was like, okay, they got a bullpen. Wish they had this bullpen back in 2012, and then all of a sudden it's like, bam, just fell apart.
Back-to-back World Series.
And then the hitting stopped. Everything just like blew up. And the Angels, just a little guy that looks like he lives on the side of a mountain. He had 2 triples, and he just caught on fire. And
no, I was surprised by the collapse. They were up 10-2 at one point. And when you blow a game that bad, again, I hate to be that guy, but look for the Detroit Tigers to go on a significant losing streak over the next 20 games. I could see them finishing 6-14, 7-13 over their next 20. Even worse. I think this is the kind of game where it's like, all right, we're out of the wild card contention. Who cares about being second in the AL Central? We've proven that we can put a good ball club together. We're now, looking towards the future. You have a Torkelson, a Green, you have some arms coming up. A lot of good things going. Now it's like, all right, let's bring up the kids. Let's get Miggy his 500th home run, and let's just move on from the season. This is a dead season.
So this could be a blessing in disguise.
Oh, I think so. I think so for sure. I think when you give up that kind of a lead, it's very demoralizing. They're heading into Toronto, one of the better teams in the MLB. They're going against one of the best batting teams in baseball. Again, will Miggy hit his 500th? I could care less when he hits it now. Do you want to finish 61 and 61 and 90? No,
61 and 101.
61 and 101, or do you want to win like 70 games and finish with 92 losses, or what?
It doesn't matter.
The record doesn't matter now. So you're not making the playoffs. Get that out of your head. You're not going to be a wild card team. There are teams with much better records that might not even make the playoffs. So it's out of contention. Who cares about finishing second in the AL Central? So for me, I think hopefully this starts a skid that maybe gets the Tigers. It gives them the ability to bring up some bats. I want to see Torkelson in September. I want to see Riley Green get called up. I want to see a few guys get called up. And that's it. That's it. On to next season. AJ Hinch, good season. Some of the players, Badu, Candelario, a lot of people, good seasons. Good job, everybody. And then you move on. You're developing.
But didn't we already know this team was not making the playoffs? Didn't we already know this?
Well, it depends who you ask, Terry, right? It depends who you ask.
Well, let's eliminate the dim-witted. They weren't going to pass 7 teams and make it into the wild card and then go on a run. They're just not that team yet. But there's a chance next year they could be that team because they're bringing up the young bats.
Mm-hmm.
We assume they're going to sign a free agent or two.
Ideally, if they're men of their word.
Yeah, and this is a test of Chris Ilitch. I think Chris Ilitch was like, okay, I don't have to spend this money. Oh, shoot, they did better than we thought. So now he jumped bad and said, you know what?
It's a year too soon for Chris.
We're going to spend.
It was a year too soon for them. I think they were planning on winning like 55, 60 games. They planned on losing a significant amount of games. And here they are now like, oh, wow, like Hinch has got the team playing good ball. Is it playoff ball? No, but it's good to see that with a developing roster, you're playing good baseball. I think it's been a positive season. They're 58-65. There's no reason to chase your tail and try to finish 71 and 91? I mean, there's no reason for that. There's no reason to finish 81-81. It does nothing. So just, play out the season, bring up the young bats. Again, disappointing. Fulmer's got to go. What a waste of Matt Manning's, first 5 innings, 4.5 innings, whatever it was. Only gave up 2 runs. And then Holland, Jimenez, 3. Funkhauser gives up 1. Fulmer gives up 3 late. I mean, this is embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. But, the other thing is people went apeshit on social media yesterday. And I guess it's because they still had hope. They still felt this team could do something. And I guess my question is why? Why did you let your panties get in a bunch? Because I understand losing a 10-2 game, a lead, is shocking. But this is what the Tigers are.
I think this is what they needed.
And middle of the road team, barely.
We can agree they've performed better than we expected going into the season. So that's a really good positive thing for the Detroit Tigers. It's a really good thing for Hinch. It makes you feel really good about the entire situation. But you needed a game like this where you just need to get smacked in the face and no more La La Land. There's no pixie dust anymore. Move on. All right, you know what? We are a bad ball club. Maybe the arms aren't as good as we thought.
What do you like about this ball club leading into next year?
I like the youth. I like the youth bats coming up. Although we haven't had the chance to see them in the big leagues yet. But still, I like the prospects coming up. And what I like most is A.J. Hinch's ability to get the most of what he's been surrounded with. A.J. Hinch could have walked into the season and said, holy shit, it ain't good. It ain't good.
Yeah.
We're going to win about 50, 60 games.
You know what? I'm just going to do what I can. Let me get my paycheck. I'll do the best I can. Instead, he said, I'm going to try some things that are different.
Yep.
I'm going to try to make this club good. So he probably deserves a raise. But a guy like A.J. Hinch, for what he did this year, would never be considered as a manager of the year candidate. But what he did with this crappy roster, making them competitive for even if it was for 2-3 months, he should at least be under consideration. Not manager of the year, but this is the type of job that...
This is the type of job somebody does, and you have to recognize it. Somebody has to recognize it. And, the city of Detroit has to recognize it, but I think on a national scale, he's got to finish maybe top 5 in the voting. I think that is fair, not just based off record. I could go coach the Yankees and win 70, 80, 90 games heading into September. That's not difficult. It's a stacked team. They went out and paid $300 million for Jarrett Cole. These teams are stacked. Now, with what A.J. Hinch is doing, he's taking an undervalued roster, and he's turning it into a pretty good ball club. And then you look at, the NFL last year, Brian Flores and Kevin Stefanski deserved all the recognition they got because they took over crappy teams that have a history of being a crappy organization, and they both showed out and they won double-digit games. And for me, that was everything. Flores put together a top defense, went 6-3 with Tua starting. I thought that was impressive considering he couldn't even throw the ball. And then you look at Stefanski, he made them division contenders in one of the hardest divisions in football. So, when managers and coaches do a good job with less and they show signs of growth and development, it needs to be appreciated. It shouldn't go overlooked.
Typically, the way it works is if you take a team that did not make the playoffs the previous year and they make the playoffs the following year, those are the teams that make or those are the managers or coaches or whatever who are named Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
And that's going to come for A.J. Hinch maybe next summer or the summer after next. He will be
the moment he captures the AL
year.
Central. The moment he captures the AL Central is the moment he will win Manager of the Year considering the situation.
He doesn't have to do that because the Tigers have been so pathetic that if he gets them in the playoffs, I think, unless somebody else has a phenomenal year, he will be that guy.
Yeah, you're going to have to look for one of these major teams, the teams that you expect to contend to win maybe anywhere between 100, 107 games. I think that would be maybe the only way Hinch doesn't walk away with a Manager of the Year if the Tigers were to make the playoffs or even win the Central. But still, again, A.J. Hinch has done a really good job. I think last night was needed. I think it was definitely needed, and I think it could be a very good thing. But what I don't think is a very good thing is people coming out and making comments and irresponsible comments. I'm very for responsible people. I don't like irresponsible people making irresponsible
So you hate
comments.
half the nation then?
Essentially. But unfortunately, one of these people is the quarterback's coach for the Detroit Lions. We will talk about that next here on the Morning Woodward Show.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Welcome back, you guys, to the Morning Woodward Show. We're out at Levels today. I just got my Grizzly Gas t-shirt on. It is the softest t-shirt I've maybe ever owned.
It fits you perfectly.
It does. You guys can't see, but it is down past my knees. I think it's a 4X.
Yeah, I was going to say it's only 3 sizes too big.
But this is my favorite
sizes.
for sleep purposes, so I will get really good use out of this jumbo t-shirt. But anyway, people have been comparing Jared Goff to Drew Brees. How similar do you think these two quarterbacks are?
Sister, not people.
Yeah.
Person.
People are agreeing in the group in the
people
thread.
are dumbasses. First
Well,
of all,
okay.
so Kennedy,
I
you
knew
should always take what people say with a pinch of salt. Second, Mark Brunell came out and compared Jared Goff to Drew Brees. Terry, before I flip this table I'll give you the floor.
All right. I haven't checked Jared Goff closely. Does he have like a little birthmark on his face or something? Is that why you compared him?
I think that could be the only comparison.
Did Jared Goff shrink 5 inches overnight?
More. He needs to shrink like 6'7" to be Drew Brees' height.
Okay. I understand that at this juncture of the season, the coaches are trying to pump up their players. They're trying to make them feel better about themselves. They're trying to make them feel like they're Superman, even though they're not. But to compare him to Drew Brees is just absolutely ridiculous.
One of the things I've really enjoyed in the Dan Campbell regime so far has been the ability of their, not only the head coach, but the assistants and really the entire coaching staff, how communicative they've been, how in sync they've been. I've really appreciated that. And Mark Brunell's comments yesterday really took a big hit at that. I lost a lot of faith in Mark Brunell. I mentioned irresponsible things earlier in the show. This is one of the most irresponsible comments I've ever heard in my life. Jared Goff is a California kid, 6'4", 6'5", big arm, can make all the throws. Like, that is not Drew Brees. Drew Brees is a student of the game. He's somebody who understands every single aspect of pass protection. He knows what the defense is doing before they know what they're doing. Oh, did I forget? He's probably a top 6, top 7 quarterback of all time. He holds multiple records. I mean,
and overcame a shoulder injury or whatever it was and surgery. So he is a warrior. Now, maybe he's talking about the Drew Brees we saw the last year, where he can't throw the ball any more than 10 yards. Maybe that's what he's talking about.
I think it's the opposite. I think he's talking about the Drew Brees that couldn't make a throw in L.A. or San Diego, I should say, early on in his career, where people were questioning, could Drew Brees even translate? But, again, do I believe Jared Goff can beat Drew Brees? No. And if the Lions are hopeful for that, well, we're in a bad situation.
Well, you might be right. Maybe he was talking about the earlier Drew Brees, because when Drew Brees went to New Orleans, anybody could have had him. And a lot of teams like, nah, we're good. We'll pass on, including the Detroit Lions.
But what did New Orleans have that San Diego didn't?
Balls?
Well, no. Sean Payton.
Okay.
Again, Terry, tell me if I'm wrong, but I really believe a quarterback's success, 90% of it is based on the situation they walk into. When you walk into a situation and there's dysfunction around you, I expect dysfunctional play on the field. When you walk into a situation and there's structure, there's organization, there's vision, there's a plan, I can see a path to success in the near future, which is what the Saints gave. They went from the Detroit Lions to who they are now. They're now a respectable franchise because of their constant winning over a 10, 12, 14-year stretch.
They were actually worse than the Detroit Lions. But if you use that logic for New Orleans, how come you don't use that logic with Matthew Stafford here when he was with the Detroit Lions, which is very dysfunctional and had a losing culture?
Well, yeah. Well, obviously, he didn't accomplish anything here. No division titles, not a single playoff win. Of course. Again, I feel like when you're a quarterback, what you walk into is very much dictates how well you're going to perform. You look at Sam Darnold in New York. They didn't surround him with any offensive line protection, no wide receivers to throw to, and somehow you bring in Robert Saleh and Zach Wilson, and now you're on cloud 9. Denzel Mims was carted off the field yesterday in practice. Elijah Moore, I think, can be a very good wide receiver, but you haven't changed from what you were prior. So drafting Zach Wilson isn't just the answer. It's building a really good team around him. And the Jets haven't proved that. They haven't proven they could build a good team. They haven't proven they could be a stable, functional organization. But even then, they've been to 2 AFC championships in the last 20 years. So, you take everything with a pinch of salt. But again, Jared Goff.
Maybe Robert Saleh is bringing that. We don't really know.
We don't know yet. But
we don't know yet. But maybe this guy is what the Lions needed. He's adding stability. He's adding a different mindset to the New York Jets, and maybe it's a different club.
I think this will be one of the Lions' worst decisions historically, and they've made a ton of them, is not going after Robert Saleh more aggressively.
Which one would they regret most? Not drafting Justin Fields or not hiring Robert Saleh.
I think hiring Robert Saleh. I think, again, situational. Why would the Lions take a quarterback at 7? Because they're going to eat $20 to $30 million in dead cap space over the next 2 years. You're wasting 2 years of a rookie contract, and you might not even play the guy. So I think they made the right decision. You re-up the offensive line. It's basically set for the next 10, 15 years. When you draft a quarterback, it's because you really need one. The Lions don't need one year one. They're going to be a bad football team. Why would I want to send out my rookie to get mauled for 17 games? I'll send Jared Goff out there. I'll pay him the money he's making. Year 2, I'll send him out there. If he doesn't play well midway into the second year, I'll bring in my rookie that I drafted, and now my rookie's getting playing time. What happens when my rookie gets playing time? I walk into year 2 with that rookie. All right, cool. Jared Goff's off the books. I'm going to go bring in a veteran safety. I'm going to bring in a veteran wide receiver. Hell, maybe a veteran running back if needed. Whatever the team needs, you can do when you open up the salary cap. And I think they're going to regret not going after Saleh than Fields. Again, situational. You bring in Robert Saleh, you're bringing in the same culture Dan Campbell has brought in. Except he's not going to come out and make not a snarky comment, but he's not going to make headlines every single day because of his press conferences. Like, Dan Campbell's in a very tricky situation. He's changed the culture, which isn't hard to do when considering Matt Patricia has been your coach for 3 years.
Well, it must be hard to do because they've had a bad culture for decades. So there must be.
What about Jim Caldwell? What about Jim Schwartz? Like, these are considered good cultures. Jim Caldwell was the ultimate.
Did not change the culture. Jim Schwartz came in with all kinds of fire, but the culture was still there. That no matter what, you're going to lose.
Well, that's different. I'm talking culture from the standpoint of the locker room, how the guys are feeling, how they're going to come out and play. Are they going to be good? Robert Saleh could have given you exactly what Dan Campbell gives you, except he would have brought X's and O's on the defensive side of the ball. That probably would have been more beneficial to the team. Now, here we are. Dan Campbell's a coach. There's nothing you can do about it. But I think they will regret long term Dan Campbell as a head coach if he doesn't pan out than Justin Fields. Justin Fields, again, situational. He's in Chicago. Chicago haven't gotten the quarterback right in their entire franchise history. Why would I care what Chicago does with Justin Fields? Do I think he's going to be good? Yes. But that is the least of the Lions' concerns.
Well, you're concerned because if he is good, then you would have wasted when Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay, you would have wasted the opportunity to leapfrog them and leapfrog your way to the top of the division.
That's only
maybe that's what Chicago does now.
That's only if the Lions don't draft a quarterback this year. Rodgers has 2 years left. He's not going anywhere. They're not trading him. He has 2 years left. He's going to play this season. He'll probably play out next season and leave. He'll go somewhere else or he'll retire. You have 2 years to get the quarterback in place. Ideally, it's this upcoming draft. You do that, you are set up in every way possible to compete in the NFC North for the next 10 years. You just are. And we don't know anything about Jordan Love yet. We'll see how much better he can get in the preseason, but we're not going to see him during the regular season unless Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. So you still have question marks there. The Vikings are the Vikings. They have Kirk Cousins at quarterback. That's not going to do much. They may contend in the division every 5-6 years, but when you have the quarterback, you're in it. You're in it every year. You have a chance.
Despite Kirk Cousins' flaws, Minnesota is going to contend in the NFC North. This is a 3-team division: Chicago, Green Bay, and Minnesota. You don't have to worry about the Lions now, or you haven't had to worry about them in the last 10 years. So Minnesota may not win the division, but they're going to be sticking their nose in there.
Minnesota has a good organization. They always put out a good football product, and we've seen over the last 20 years they can actually put together very good defenses. And I expect Minnesota to actually have a very good defense this year. But back to Goff and Brees, again, I don't see the comparison. I don't understand Brunell's comments. It was very, very irresponsible. And honestly, it just makes me lose confidence in what we're doing again. And I don't like that. I don't want to have to be the guy that says, well, I'm not confident in what the team is doing. But, hey, you want to come out and compare Jared Goff to Drew Brees?
You know what could have happened? You know, he could have been in an interview and said, okay, I want to pump my guy up. He's like, I don't know, Drew Brees. And he just threw the name out. He may not even believe that.
I think that a lot of it was coming from what I gathered from people that were semi-agreeing, was that it's his short to mid route, accuracy is what they were thinking.
I could throw a 10-yard out. Terry could throw a 10 and out.
Okay, so then give me a better comparison.
Art could take a 3-step drop and throw a 10-yard pass.
Art can do whatever he wants, obviously. But so give me a better comparison for Goff. I have a feeling you're going to say he's Kirk Cousins.
No, he's not. He's nowhere near. Jared Goff is kind of unique. He has that, prototypical build. You can kind of give him between, Ben Roethlisberger and, maybe a Joe Flacco. Somewhere in between there.
Okay.
He's got some mobility, but not a ton of mobility. So you got some.
You know what?
Go ahead.
We screwed up. You screwed up, and I screwed up.
Who are you talking to?
I'm to all of us. Because maybe you can compare Jared Goff to Drew Brees. Now, maybe he's not talking about the Drew Brees we saw the last 10 years in New Orleans. But right now, Drew Brees is under a lot of heat. They thought he's going to retire. People feel that he should retire. They always look at, his balls are, his completion percentage is high, but he's dinking and dunking now, and that's what Jared Goff is doing. He's dinking and dunking. So maybe we were wrong. Maybe Brunell was correct.
I am so happy.
The Drew
we get a
Brees
40-year-old
today.
Drew Brees. We get a 40-year-old Drew Brees at quarterback, and we're paying him $35 million. What do I know?
So we screwed up.
I guess so.
So we were right. He was
All
right.
Well, when we get back from the break, we are going to discuss which player is likely to have a breakout sophomore year. We've already mentioned one of them earlier on in the show. And guys, we're live. We're live from Levels here in Centerline. Stop by. Everything's going great here so far.
Big crowd.
Art's screaming like a panda. I have no idea what he's doing. Food trucks out here, coffee shops. Come support their grand opening. They're launching it all weekend. We'll be here all day engaging, having a good time, guys. Stop by. Again, live from Levels. We'll be right back after the break.
Morning, Art.
Morning, D-Mac.
Welcome back, you guys, to the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. I did it that time without stumbling. Terry,
I'm proud of you. I'm just thrilled.
It's such a tongue twister.
It is. There's too many W's.
Yeah,
Whoa.
not comfortable with it.
But anyway, we got into it a little bit. But which player is set up to have a breakout sophomore season? We talk about Jeff Okudah a lot. I'm really excited about him. He's now got a mentor. So what do you think, Terry? Who's got a breakout season coming up?
Well, I'm going to sound old and boring but I still have to go to Jeff Okudah.
Yeah.
For this reason, not that he's going to be much better than he was last year, but I think schematics are going to help him. When you have a defense that doesn't challenge the quarterback, that's bend but don't break, the cornerbacks are going to be left out to dry. I have to believe with Dan Campbell, with all the bullshit that he's talking, is going to stick to his word, be more aggressive, and it's going to allow Jeff Okudah to have a better season. Jeff Okudah cannot cover a wide receiver for 5 or 6 seconds. Nobody can. But if it's quick throws and the opposing quarterback is under duress, that helps a young cornerback.
You look at Jeff Okudah. There was a stretch last year where obviously he was injured for most of the season, but there was a 3-week stretch where he was rated a top 3 corner in the PFF grades. He had a really good 3-week stretch. It started off in Arizona when he picked off Kyler Murray, and he started to blossom a little bit. You saw signs of it. He's a very good open field tackler. Again, the defense was so horrendous. There's no chance they're as bad as they were last year. So by default, he's going to be much better. The defense will be much better. I think he'll be in a position more to make more plays. I think Jeff Okudah has to be the breakout sophomore of the list. You look at the list, Terry. It's Jeff Okudah. You have Tua Tagovailoa. You have Jalen Reagor and Henry Ruggs. Denzel Mims, I guess you can put on the list as well, but he was carted off from practice yesterday, so we're not even sure what's going to happen there in New York. Henry Ruggs in Vegas, I'm not sure. Derek Carr seems to have a great relationship with Waller. I don't see Ruggs being a 1, let alone a 2. He's more of a deep threat, and, it's inconsistent. It's not something that I'm going to say he's going to break out. I think Jalen Reagor could.
Now you kids are really into this gambling thing. What's Vegas saying? Who's the odds-on favorite?
To have a comeback player of the season, or just a sophomore breakout?
Sophomore breakout.
Sophomore breakout. They have Tua lined up. They have Joe Burrow because of the injury, and then they have Jeff Okudah. Those are your favorites, and Jalen Reagor. And again, obviously, it's easy to pick the quarterbacks, but
see, I don't consider Joe Burrow because before he was injured, he was balling out. I'm like, this dude can play. So,
well, we've seen this a lot. Comeback player of the year. I feel like comeback player of the year and breakout year compared to the year prior are very similar because it's usually situationally based. Jeff Okudah, again, injured most of the season, but he's probably going to come out year two and really shine, and you need him to shine, Terry. You wasted again, I hate saying wasted, but it's the truth. You don't waste a third overall pick in a draft on a cornerback unless he's Deion freaking Sanders, which Jeff Okudah isn't.
Yeah.
And prime Deion went 5. Champ Bailey went 7. You tell me he's better than both of them. You tell me he's better than both of them, I'll shut up and I'll say you guys are smart. You guys made the right decision. I'm so proud of every single one of you.
I tell you
was
what,
so wrong.
I am now in the code of silence. I cannot say that.
I won't say he's better than those guys, but I will say he did have a better first year than our last guy, Darius Slay, did. And people did not like Slay his first year in Detroit. And I didn't hear too much about Okudah being like horrible. Like
Darius Slay was a third.
But
he was a third-round draft pick.
He became so good, one of the top corners in the league, and now
not one of the top. He was like top 7.
Yeah,
top 8.
That's
when you say top,
let's not get into the schematics. That's top.
Thank you, Terry.
Right. One of the top.
But anyway, Darius Slay improved in the second season and then was, I think, a knockout in his third. So I think by then, Okudah will be well worth it.
I think the issue here is you could get something close to a Jeff Okudah, close to a Darius Slay in the second and third round. And if you have the number 3 pick, you could have picked a quarterback. You could have picked a game-changing defensive lineman or linebacker or something like that instead of a cornerback where the rules are set up in the NFL for you not to be great. Mm-hmm. There is no, I always hear this, you need a shutdown cornerback. Well, you know what, damn it? There's no such thing as a shutdown cornerback anymore in the NFL because if you touch somebody, you're getting that flag thrown on you.
Well, okay, let's go back to Darius Slay. A very quiet career outside of 2017. 2017, I will say, he was amazing. Mm-hmm. Top 3. I'll give him top 3 for 2017. But it was one good season, and he's a very good corner. But like Terry said, in today's game, you don't need just one very good corner. You need more than that. You need a defense. You need a pass rush. That's what makes these guys look good. Go look at Stephon Gilmore. That is what ideally Jeff Okudah turns out to be. If you get Stephon Gilmore production out of Jeff Okudah, it's a good pick. It's still not a perfect pick. You could have done better. But hey, I think Okudah's lined up to have a very good second season. Everything is pointing in an upward direction, not only for his career but for the defense, and that's really by default. Terry, they were so god awful last year. Do you really think they give up more than 33 points a game this year? I don't think so. Especially with this whole culture change. I think they'll be a little better.
There has to be. Well, let me go back here. I'm going to go back into old man mode. I've been dealing with the Lions for a couple decades, and every time there's a new coordinator, every time there's a new coach, here's the first thing they say: we're going to be aggressive. Screw all this, marching up and down the field on us, and we're hoping you make a mistake. No, we're going to go in and take the fucking ball from you. That's what they say when they come in. Then they go through training camp, and they go through a couple games.
Shit, we're bad.
Like, okay, maybe we won't do that. And then they switch back to a more conservative. And the players get pissed. And they're partly the reason they don't play is in a system they don't believe in, and they're not that good. So now we need to see what this regime does. If they follow the playbook of previous Lions,
I think it's all talk. I think it's easy to do it year one because they know they're going to be bad. So they can be more aggressive, and it's not going to hurt them. It's like, all right, well, we're trying things right now. Look at the preseason game. They kept going for 2-point conversions. They went for them. They went for it on fourth down a few times. Like, This team is going to be aggressive, but I want to see them be aggressive when the chips are on the table.
Be careful about the 2-point conversion thing. I think they did that is because they wanted to make sure they didn't go into overtime. So that's a big difference in the preseason. You don't want to go into overtime, so you may go for a 2-point conversion.
Well, they're trying things. I mean, the preseason is the time you want to try your 2-point offense. It's the time you want to try your short 4th and 1, 4th and 2 offense. I mean, this is what preseason is for, so I don't mind it.
But do they do it in the regular season? I tend to think they will not.
Probably not. And it's easy to be aggressive when there's no chips on the table. Go look at Jim Caldwell. We all remember the non-call PI. 4th and 1, opponent's territory, you didn't go for it. You didn't go for it. You tried getting them to jump. They weren't going to jump. Everybody knew in the building you weren't snapping that ball because you didn't have the balls to do it. That's why you lost that game.
That is true. But here's one thing the Lions have not been able to do the last 5 years. 4th and 1, they can't just run the ball. And I think coaches in that situation, they don't want to pass. And if they feel they can't run the ball, they just said, you know what, I'm just going to punt.
I mean, Jamal Williams probably gives you that luxury then going forward to run the ball. He's on a 2-year deal, I believe. So we'll see. We'll see. I think Dan Campbell can come out and say, he's going to be aggressive. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. That's all great. And then when you get beat on a 60, 70-yard touchdown, you're like, maybe we shouldn't have sent the safety, Terry. Maybe we shouldn't have sent the safety. Our guys can't cover these guys one-on-one. So we'll see what happens. We got to go to break. When we get back, Cade Cunningham. We got a lot to talk about.
He's going to be on the show?
No.
Oh,
no.
Damn.
No. We should have wore the buffs, though. When we get back from the break, again, guys, we're live here at Levels. It's their grand opening. It's their grand opening for the entire weekend. Lots of great stuff here. Food trucks. They're giving away a ton of stuff. And you have a chance to win a 2021 Dodge Challenger. Feel free to come out. It's going to be a great day. We'll be out here all day. It's going to be a good time. We'll see you after the break.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back, everyone. We are out here at Levels today. Got this Grizzly Gas tee on. Easy. No, you cannot have it from me, even though it would fit you better. This is mine forever. Super soft. So make sure you guys come and hang out with us.
I think that's even going to be big on
It
Easy.
might be big on Easy.
Yeah, right.
Guys, why you put me in this position? Why?
Stop.
Why are we doing this?
Don't.
You guys just want me to come out and say things that are not nice.
Yeah,
what do you do?
do.
Can we move on?
All right. You know why you can't have Easy wear that shirt? Because he's going to put boob marks in it.
God damn it, Terry.
Stick can attest to the boob
You guys
marks.
are horrible.
He got some on his face that one day.
You guys set me up for this stuff. Kennedy, what are we talking about?
Oh, my gosh. All right. Obviously, we're all so excited about Cade Cunningham, our #1 draft pick. But how much can he actually elevate this Detroit team? Do you think we'll get to the playoffs? Are we going to be contenders this year?
Terry, obviously, people like to label me as a pessimist.
Yes, we do.
I'm actually very optimistic. I'm a very optimistic person. I think the Detroit Pistons can be a play-in team. The East is the East. It's been the East for my lifetime and probably yours. There's nothing ever special about the East where you're getting a 44, 45-win team getting in on the 8th seed in our recent past. So I think a 10 seed is very doable. They weren't too far off of 12 games. They really got to win 34, 35 games to secure a play-in, I believe, this year in the East.
Right. Here I'm going to be old man again. I remember back in the day when only the top 8 teams made the playoffs. Now you have the play-in games, which I'm not sure I'm excited about, but I think the Pistons are at least going to be in the running for one of those play-in games, and then could be eliminated after one game or whatever it is.
I don't care how far they go into the playoffs. I just think when you add a #1 overall pick and a player of Cade Cunningham's caliber, you're going to get better. It's just, logic. Luka Garza is actually looking like a nice piece. I think he can be.
Right.
I don't want to say he's going to be Nikola Jokic, an MVP in the league, but I think he can be a very similar type player.
What about a rotation piece his rookie year?
I think it's a good thing for the team. I think this team can win 37, 38 games, given Jeremy Grant doesn't ball hog like he did last year. I want to see the team keep developing. And again, one thing we know definitely about Dwayne Casey basketball teams is they're very good in the regular season. They're very good in the regular season. He knows how to get W's. He's done it all his time in Toronto, and he knows how to develop players. I'm really looking forward to Sadiq Bey's second year, Killian Hayes' second year. What's Cade going to look like? Is he going to be a 12, 13-point scorer? Is he going to be 15, 16, 17? Where's his threshold? Is Jeremy Grant going to try to be an all-star again and put up 24, 25 points? Or no, we don't need you to do that, Jeremy. We have scorers around you. I want to see you get 7, 8 assists a game.
Well, actually, you did last season. You may not need it this year, but actually you did last season because I do think the Pistons have talent, but I don't think those guys have the balls to take that shot in critical situations, so Jeremy Grant had to be that.
Last year, yes. I think this year, Cade's going to be that guy. He showed it at Oklahoma State, Oklahoma State. And one of the things people forget is, you find your way through a game when you're a superstar, right? You're picking and choosing your moments, when I want to dominate the ball, when I don't. But something that is so promising about Cade is you go to his Oklahoma State days, and every time, final 4 minutes, give me the ball. Give me the ball. Let me see what I can do for us. We're up, I'll close it. We're down, I'll get us back. And I think that's a very good piece for the Pistons to build off coming into the future. Do I expect them to get out of the first round in the playoffs? No. That's probably a 2-3 year process. You look at Giannis. It took him 8 years to finally get to a finals, let alone win it. So this is a process. I expect the team to win 35, 36 games this year, 44, 45 the following, and potentially 50 in Cade's third season, and then maybe they can get out of the first round. So, again, you got to enjoy the process. You got to enjoy the team's rebuilding, and you got to be optimistic from that standpoint, but I'm not going to sit here and say the Pistons.
Okay, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm looking into my crystal ball right now. I see you in my crystal ball, and you're being bad.
Oh, why is that?
Because Cade Cunningham, late in the season, in a critical game, is going to make the quote-unquote right basketball play and not necessarily take that shot that you want him to take, and you're going to criticize the young man.
I actually, I'm on the fence of this. No. I never.
It's in my crystal ball. I already see it.
Let me choose my words carefully.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for.
Cade Cunningham, late into the season, drives to the hoop, could either take the contact or make a difficult shot, or he can pass it out to the guy on the sideline open for three. Cade's a guy that I think is similar to LeBron. He's going to make the pass. So going in, I'm not going to have the expectation that every time Cade's going to take the shot. I got to be fair.
Just gave you
I got to be fair.
him.
Dude, I cannot wait.
You touched him and he's like...
But, Terry, I will say, because Terry does know me very well, I think. And I will criticize Cade, though. If we're 40, 50 games in, and 90% of the time he's made the right basketball play. No. Damn it, when you're the superstar, you take the ball and you make the damn shot. Like, you can criticize Kobe for missing all the shots, but at least he had the balls to take them. So I don't want to see my future superstar develop a habit of passing up on shots.
He told you he's already doing it.
So
hasn't happened yet.
I'm not going to criticize him year one, but if we're in year 4 or 5, Terry, and the team is losing games and he's not being aggressive enough late, then yeah, I'm going to be that guy that's going to be very unhappy with my superstar, because even Giannis in the finals was a willing driver to the paint. He'd either go for the contact or he'd pull up and give a fadeaway jumper. Giannis, a guy who is a proven can't-shoot guy, he's even willing to put the ball in his hands late and close the deal. And yes, he has Middleton to help, but still, he's still willing to take on those moments. And that's what I want to see from Cade. I don't want to see him dishing it out.
I can see myself early in the morning. I have my little pajama pants on. I'm going to turn on my computer, and this guy's going to say, "Did you see Cade Cunningham last night? He could have taken it all the way to the cup.
Case,
didn't do it.
Somebody's got to hold these players accountable, Terry."
He passed to Jeremy Grant, who missed the dunk.
Why would you pass to Jeremy Grant? That's where I'm going to go with it.
Is,
Why? Why would I pass to? Oh, my goodness. Can you take off your shirt and give it? Hey, you guys got to swap shirts.
I like my shirt.
You guys have put it on Kennedy. Easy. You and her have got to swap shirts.
You asked Kenny to take off her shirt. It's an HR issue.
No, it's not. She has a backup
It
shirt.
is an HR. Hey, this station's already going to be sued by her today. These people have been atrocious all morning.
No, don't bring it up. But anyway, I want to talk about another one of our picks here. So Luka Garza was actually one that I really enjoyed watching during Summer League, which was surprising because I was all about Cade. But so he signed this 2-way deal, right? And so he gets a max of 50 games with the Pistons if they even want him there that much. How much do you see him actually playing with the Pistons this year?
I think he's going to be in the rotation this year.
I hope so.
Not 6-man, 7-man, but 8 or 9 on the rotation because he can shoot the ball. I know he's criticized, well, he doesn't play defense. Well, guess what?
Nobody does.
Half the league does not play defense.
It's not as shiny and fun.
But at least he'll try. He will fail, but at least he'll try. But, dude can he can shoot the 3.
Yeah.
Got a little tippy-toe jumper. He can get inside the paint and be a little bit dirty.
Garza's a project.
Like that.
Garza's a project.
Yeah, he gets roasted a lot for his footwork, and he doesn't have that grace that you see from a lot of NBA players. So that's my one concern is that everyone's talking about this footwork of his, and he's kind of clunky.
Well, he's got to work on it.
Yeah.
It's not nothing to be frustrated about. It's an accurate critique of his game.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't box out consistently enough for a big guy. His footwork is a little slow. So, okay, he has 2 years to work on it, and then he'll get a new contract. All right, cool. This guy can be a very good piece by year 4 to year 5. Like, I'm sick of these expectations that he's got to walk in and kill it. Look at Jokic. It took him 5-6 years. These guys need time to develop.
Well, he's not going to be Jokic, but he can be a nice, shiny, not even shiny piece, but a piece of the puzzle. In sports, everybody can't be a superstar.
Yes.
Everybody can't give you 15, 21 points. But you can ask somebody in the second-round pick to be a little bit of a surprise. You don't expect to do anything, that he can work on his box out. He can hit that outside jumper. Yeah, he might get burned defensively, but so is half the league. So, to me, that's not a detriment.
Exactly, and you need guys like this when you're building a championship roster. You need guys that are willing to come off the bench, give you 8, 10 minutes, and it's the most aggressive 8, 10 minutes. You're getting 8 to 10 minutes of 6, 8 points, 5, 6, 7 rebounds, a block, so many contested shots. That's what you're getting out of potentially a player like Luka Garza. I really like it. I think he does have a future, but before we have to break, Terry, I got to ask you one question about the Detroit Pistons.
All right,
and Cade Cunningham. Ideally, if you had to choose how your superstar turns out in the near future, do you want him to be a LeBron James-esque player where he's always making the right basketball decision, that's his mindset? Or are you going to shift in the way of, I'm going to get mine late, I'm going to put the team on my back? Do you want that? I feel like there's got to be a balance. Obviously I don't want him taking a layup shot against 3 people. But, there's got to be points where he gets his ISO, he goes into the mid-range, and he drains the shot, and he's got to go for it. He's got to try and hit the shot. Now, that's just my opinion.
I'm going to go back into the day again and with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, what is Michael Jordan known for? Being scoring. Like, he doesn't care who's on him. He's going to score. That Mamba mentality. But here's the thing that Michael Jordan did that he didn't get credit for. Early in the game, he would try, when not his first 5 years, but after that, he tried to get his teammates involved. Late in games, if he was double or triple team,
he would be a willing passer.
He would pass to the open man. Even Michael Jordan did that. So that's why I would like Cade Cunningham to be. If it's there,
I think that's the right balance.
If there's a guy that you can burn, you take him to the rack. You take him to the house. So that's what I want him to do, because that's what the Pistons have been. The Pistons have been a team where everybody does their share, and then your better player takes on a bigger piece of the puzzle, and that's what I want to see Cade Cunningham do.
I couldn't agree more with that answer. Guys, when we get back from the break, Lions preseason action. They play tomorrow against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll preview that coming up next.
Would you like to win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time?
Then watch as we turn this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
Watch the Call Sam Chopper Shop on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Welcome back, you guys, to the Morning Woodward Show. We're out here at Levels today. I just got the cutest coffee in the world, and I kind of hope I can show you. Can you guys see this? I'm not going to.
If it had a smiley face on it, it'd be perfect.
It says Levels Cannabis on it, and it's actually really cute. Can you see it at all? Oh, I don't know how they do it, but it's like latte magic, and I already Instagrammed it, so I'm on my Instagram.
You know who can do that?
Who?
Me.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
You can put a little heart and write levels with hazelnut
No, I can't do that, but I can make a little leaf.
That's impressive.
I know how to make the leaf.
Wow.
I can do all of that as well. I have a machine that does it for me, though.
Every morning you put a heart in your own coffee?
I have a machine that'll do it for me if I wanted to. It's like a digital machine.
You
I could
guys
send
are
it an image.
Bougie.
Well, I don't do it. It's just to show off to guests when you have them at the house. Like,
okay, well,
hey, you want coffee with your face on it?
You put my face on it?
I can.
Okay, I'll take you up on that one of these days.
I can't do faces. I can do the leaf.
All right, that's equally as impressive.
I'll throw this coffee at Kennedy. That's what I meant by coffee.
That coffee's hot.
God. Okay, anyway, we've got not a big game, but we've got a preseason game coming up. Dan Campbell has already come out and said we're not going to see Jared Goff. We're not going to see a lot of the starters. So what do you guys expect from this game tomorrow?
Boredom.
What's today?
That's what I expect. Complete boredom.
Yeah.
That if you watch, you'll fall asleep to it. Games like this, and I always hate to play this card, but I'm going to play the damn card anyway. Games like this mean nothing to me. What you do
Shut the hell up, Art.
Shut up, Art.
You're trying to figure out who's going to be your backup lineman, who's going to be your third string defensive tackle. That's what you're trying to figure out. You're not trying to figure out, is this team going to be good? Is this team going to be competitive? That's not what you find out. This is it's like a glorified practice.
Yep. It's basically the joint practice sessions they're doing just with, a clock.
We don't want to get hurt. That's what this is about. Here's my core players. I don't want any of them to get hurt. So they're either not going to play or they're going to play like 5 plays.
Yeah, again, what to expect for tomorrow. Expect a lot of bums on the field. Steelers have already played 2 games. There's a big truck next to us.
Hey, there's some Lions fans.
Yeah, a bunch of garbage fans.
Oh, that looks like the Lions limo.
If you guys can't see, it's actually a waste management garbage truck. So that is the reference we're making, just so we're all on the same page. It is the official limo of the Detroit Lions. Think green, think losing. Think losing when you think of the Detroit Lions. Anyways, I don't want to be a jackass
or think
right
green,
now.
think smelly.
It's too late, Adam. It's too late.
Anyways, tomorrow's game, if you're a betting person, you'll probably be more interested in the game. But no, Steelers are going to come out. They've already played 2. They're done. They're going to send out everybody who's basically getting cut or trying to survive and play on special teams. You look at the Lions, they're not going to play Goff. They're not going to play Swift. So, there's nothing really to look forward to. You're not going to gain anything from watching a preseason game. I saw Zach Wilson go 7 of 9, or Trevor Lawrence actually go 7 of 9. I've seen Jared Goff go 7 of 9. It doesn't tell me much. All it tells me is that they're practicing. They're trying to get better. And that's all the preseason is about. And then when the regular season starts, everybody's hearts are going to be broken because everyone's going to go into Ford Field. They're all going to be excited, Terry. They're going to be drinking that blue Kool-Aid. Oh, my goodness, this is the year. Dan Campbell's going to change it for us, and then the Niners are going to put a 40-piece on you.
You know what you need to do?
Then you're going to come crying to me like, Adam, you're an asshole.
Adam, when they drink the blue Kool-Aid, here's a key ingredient. You need to put some of that 8 Mile vodka in it.
They're going to need more than vodka to get over this season.
Triple shot.
If they think 10 games is possible, I don't want to be this guy. It really crushes my soul.
It doesn't.
It does.
No,
it does. Terry, defend me here.
It crushes my soul because all these people here, I consider you guys my children.
I know.
And I did not educate my children enough not to believe in the Detroit Lions. I did something wrong. So this is on me. When the Lions don't win 10 games, I'm not going to look at Art and Fish and say, you dumbasses. I'm going to say, no, this is on me because I didn't educate you the proper way.
It's all about education, Terry. I'm a big supporter of education. And when you look at the team, I'll educate you on them. They downgraded at quarterback. They've downgraded at wide receiver. They don't have a linebacking core that's proven. Their secondary, I still have questions about it. And not only me. I don't want to be that guy. The entire league has questions about their secondary. We don't know if the pass rush is going to be any good. They got 2 pass rushers, the interior lineman and an edge rusher in the draft. So, could it be better? Yes. But, again, it's not 10 games better. It's not 10 games better. So...
And was there a disruption in the rest of the division?
No.
Maybe you could say Green Bay, but I think those guys are going to rally behind Aaron Rodgers. Those guys said, damn, we're not going to have Aaron Rodgers this year. Oh, yeah, now we got him.
No, that's our boy. That's our boy.
Yeah.
This might be his last season with us. We got to get him back to a Super Bowl. That's going to be the Packers' mindset. The Bears are going to be playing experiment time, so they're probably throwing the year away, even though I think they could win 8-9 games if they just started out the gate with Justin Fields. But I think Dalton plays 6-7 games, so their season's going to be a watch, similar to the Lions. And then the Vikings, 80% of their defense was out last year with injuries. And they had a great offensive year. Justin Jefferson bursted onto the scene. Dalvin Cook, a reliable workhorse. You got good pieces in Minnesota. If the defense shows up, that's a 9-10 win ball club. Again, guys, it's okay. It's okay to lose for this season. You think
Jefferson could make the Lions team?
Justin Jefferson? Mm-hmm. Well, if you ask Art and other Lions fans watching right now, Justin Jefferson's probably 4th in the wide receiving core slot.
Right.
Definitely, maybe he gets the number 3 spot.
If Justin Jefferson were on the Lions, they would automatically put him on the little stupid little Hall of Ring thing or thing.
Terry, I mean, again, you got tomorrow's game. It'll be you're not going to learn anything. And
Don't watch.
I think watch.
Don't watch.
Watch if you want to listen. If you want to educate yourself, you'll see what they're trying to do. But again, it's easy for Dan Campbell to come out and say, "I'm going to make aggressive decisions. I'm going to make aggressive calls." When it's a preseason, I want to see chips
I'd rather watch Miggy not hit his 500th home run tomorrow.
Terry, I have some beef with the chat. And,
obviously.
I'd like you to help me solve it.
All right.
So
you got?
I am rooting for 2 possibilities.
Terry.
I am rooting for the Detroit Lions to finish 0-17.
Stop touching him.
I'm having a heart-to-heart with my father here. So if you could mind your business, I would appreciate it. Terry, I am rooting for the team to go 0-17. And I'm also rooting for
the Lions.
Yes. And I'm rooting for Miggy to not hit number 500 and have it bleed into next season.
I thought you wanted him to hit 500 so we could just cut him and get him out of there.
We can't cut him till he hits 3,000. So that's not going to happen until next season anyway. So I like.
So, dude, let me ask you.
Go ahead.
Are you from Transylvania?
I just think it'd be a great story. It's not so much that I really want them to go 0-17, but you think about the story. That would be one of the best accomplishments in the history of football. It'd be one of the greatest news stories in NFL history. And then you look at the Tigers going into next season, you're like, oh, man, I can't wait for Miggy to hit 500. I can't wait for him to hit 3,000. Will 3,000 be his 500th home run? Like, so many scenarios I can play. I just think they're really good stories. I don't think they're reality, though. But still, I think it's something, it's something good to root for.
I would not wish that upon anybody. Not
Thank you, Terry.
Not a community that I grew up in, and I think people here are a little delusional, but I do not want these people to go through another. Well, actually, they've never gone through an 0-17 season.
That's what
in
I'm
Detroit.
saying.
It was 0-16, but I just think that it wouldn't be that big of a story because then people would say, there's the Lions going.
Really? I don't know.
No, because they've already done it before.
Yes, but on the inaugural 17-game schedule, the Detroit Lions, who already have gone 0-16, year one go 0-17, I think it's like an insane story.
It is, but you act like the Lions are respected around the nation. They're not.
No,
the story
it's not about respect.
It would be, they did it again.
I think there would be a countdown by national media come week 15 if they're 0-14.
It would, but it would be like, here's the stupid Lions doing it again.
Can they do it? I think it'd be a big story, honestly. I don't think they're going to go 0-17. They're not that bad.
But you want that.
But I think in a twisted world.
Do you hate people here?
No, it's not that I hate people.
Hurt people hurt
We're
people.
talking storylines. I'm giving you one of the most There's not a better storyline for the Detroit Lions this year outside of them actually going 10-7.
There would be a better storyline if, like, magically the Bucks
either
went,
they-
like,
it's-
0-17.
No, it's
Because
either
then
they
it
go
would
to
be
the playoffs-
shocking.
What if they went 17-0? That'd be a bigger story.
Right. That's something I can get on board with.
Terry, do not look at that. You have half of these people.
Got the gang
flapping.
going. Now that'd be a hell of a Lions limo.
This is why they deserve to go 0-17. So I take back what I said. They deserve to go 0-17 for reasons like this.
The Seals.
Oh my goodness.
That's what they are.
Oh my goodness. All right. Anyways,
Poor things.
takeaways.
Children.
Takeaways heading into the game against Pittsburgh. They're away to Pittsburgh, so we'll see how they play. I'm not looking for much. Ideally, they don't commit any turnovers, and they force a ton of turnovers. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Don't if they make me come on here Monday, don't ask me about the game because I'm not watching.
Yeah, I will watch. I'll probably watch the first drive or two. We'll see what they do, but again,
You can't even watch the first drive because Jared Goff is not
I'm
going
not
to be
there to
in
watch Jared Goff. I know what Jared Goff is. There's nothing he can show me in the regular season that's going to change my mind. He's a bridge quarterback. He's gone in 2 years. So,
Well, you're saying to watch this game to learn. What am I supposed to be learning by watching this game, Adam?
no, we didn't say that. We
About
said
how bad, no, you said that. It's
Terry,
it's
thank
about
you.
how bad preseason football is. That's what you're going to learn.
That's what I'm going to learn.
Well, Terry said it. He said you're not going to learn anything about the team. They're not going to, especially with the starters out. You learned kind of something week 1 against the Bills. You notice that Jared Goff doesn't have the ability to throw the ball downfield.
Yeah.
Not because he can't throw the ball 40, 50 yards downfield, but he's got nobody to beat downfield that's even open. Can they run the ball? Sure. Are they going to run the ball as good as everybody thinks, like Maz, where they're going to have 2 1,000-yard rushers or 2 800-yard rushers? Probably not. No.
Let me correct you on something, buddy boy.
Go ahead.
You said, can they run the ball? Sure. No, you should have said, can they attempt to run the ball? Sure. Doesn't mean you can run the ball. You can attempt to run the ball. Doesn't mean you're going to succeed.
Jeez.
All
All right. Well, then what can we learn about, like, Dan Campbell's coaching style from this game? Anything like that?
No,
Anything?
No,
nothing. Oh, wow.
He's going to go out there. Hopefully he doesn't send 9 men out on the field for another special teams unit. There's nothing Dan Campbell can do in the preseason or any of these players can do to, like, convince me that they're going to win 10 games. It's just not. You don't see it in the preseason. It doesn't mean anything. They're there to get in their reps, and they're there not to get hurt. It's that simple.
Here's why you won't learn anything about Dan Campbell. He technically screwed up the end of the first game.
Yeah.
But I don't believe he would ever do that in the regular season game. Therefore, even though I saw him screw something up, I don't feel I learned anything about him.
Yeah, because he came back and said, I did that to see my team under a high-stress
And
situation.
we all should have known that from the get-go.
That's why these teams go for it on fourth. That's why they go for the 2-point conversions. This is when you can like develop situational football. That's all the preseason is for. It's not going to tell you anything. It's not going to tell you about Dan Campbell's coaching style. And year 1 isn't going to tell me much about Dan Campbell's coaching style. They're not going to be playing for a playoff contention. They're not going to be competing for the division. So he's not going to be in all chips are on the table situations where, hey, if we don't get this right, we're not making the. No, they're out there.
True. However, will you be able to look at him and say, "Man, this dude is a colossal screw up"?
If it's that bad,
that's what we could learn.
You can't learn anything good. You can only learn the bad things. You're not going to go out there and be like, "Wow, Dan, you really handled that really well. You lost the game, but man, those you're looking for little things. I want to see player development, situational football. I want to see us actually, be competent, not send 9-10 men out on the field. Ideally, that'd be a good start. Are they going to go for 2 throughout the year? I don't think so.
No, they're not.
I don't think they're going to attempt it. Maybe not even over/under. Maybe one.
But I think you read and this is good. This is a compliment. But I think you read too deeply into things about the whole 2-point conversion thing. The reason teams go for 2 in the regular season, late in games, they don't want to go in overtime.
Yeah.
The conventional thing, okay, is we just scored 17-16.
Terry.
Let's kick a field goal. They go for 2 because they want to make sure there's no overtime.
Well, what if we do? Because we don't even know our kicker situation.
Well, Terry, I need your help. All right, I'm going to read you a comment.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
They win the division. Write it down. take a pick. I don't give a F.
Okay.
What am I going to do?
They win the division.
The Lions are winning the division.
Oh, no. Oh, you're reading from the – okay.
Help me.
Whoever wrote that, I have 2 words for you.
Goff has a better chance of winning MVP than the Lions going 0-17. I actually don't believe that. I think the Lions have a better chance of going 0-17 than they do Jared Goff winning an MVP.
Okay, neither's going to happen. And I'm not even going to quantify what's going to – if you know something's not going to happen, I'm not going to say what has a better shot of happening. Because it's just both sides are ridiculous
bullshit.
On this.
They're bullshit.
Yes.
Lions aren't winning the division, guys. Get over it.
Jared Goff can't be MVP when he's not passing the ball any more than 5 or 6 yards down.
He can't be the MVP when his MVP season, he didn't even win the MVP.
He may not be the offensive MVP. It might be Swift. It might be, you know, it could be, you know, somebody in the running game.
All right. Well, when we get back from the break, speaking of Jared Goff, somebody continues to struggle throughout training camp. And we're going to go into detail on whether or not the team should be concerned with Jared Goff heading into the season. We'll do that right after the break.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Hey, welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. I'm killing it with that today. Okay, so we've already teased you guys a bit. Oh, Adam
Get your
coming
shit
in
together,
hot.
Kennedy.
Why? What am I doing?
Stop fumbling.
I didn't. I said it right.
It's like the Lions offense over there.
Hurt people. Anyway, all right, so Goff is continuing to struggle in camp. So how concerned should we be about Goff's performances? Adam?
Yeah, I'll take this on first. You should be very concerned, but not because Jared Goff isn't a good quarterback. It's just the situation the Lions offense is in. They're not a good offense. They don't have all the correct pieces to go out and really move the ball downfield. So I expect Jared Goff to struggle this season, not because he's just some washed-up, horrible quarterback, but he's not going to do anything special this year. Tyrell Williams isn't going to go for 1,400 yards. Neither is Cephas. Neither is Amon-Ra St. Brown. They're nice pieces, but they're not number ones. They're not number twos. And the offensive line is giving him so much protection in camp. And Corey Woods highlighted this in multiple articles he had written. He has so much time to pass the ball. Nobody's open, Terry. Nobody's open. So I wouldn't be so much concerned with Jared Goff. It's just what I've been trying to tell people. They're just not going to be that great on offense. It's just
I can't really comment about him without eyeballing training camp because one or two things are happening. One, he's patting the ball waiting for somebody to get open, or he's patting the ball because he doesn't know what to do. So I need to determine what's going on here.
And you'll figure that out during the season.
That's what you'll figure out during the regular season. You're not going to figure that out during the
preseason. Should they be concerned? No, but they put him in this situation, Terry. They told you everything, not only that they thought of Jared Goff, but what their plans are for the future. They drafted an offensive lineman with the number 7 overall pick. They went back-to-back defensive linemen after that, and then they took a wide receiver. And then they took a linebacker, and then they took a running back. They didn't go out. They didn't franchise tag Kenny Golladay. They could have done that for 1 year, no committal, just to give Jared Goff a chance. But they didn't want to give him a chance. They didn't want to give him a chance.
Well,
they didn't want to give a team a chance.
I think Golladay, there's the real story on Kenny Golladay hasn't been told. Reading between lines, I think Kenny Golladay didn't want to be here because my understanding is he was acting weird. They would ask him to come to practice, and he wouldn't do that. I think Kenny Golladay is one of those Ndamukong Suh's, Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders type that said, you know what, it ain't happening here. Get me the fuck out of here. I think that's what happened with Kenny Golladay.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all.
And, you know, he got a ridiculous contract with the New York Giants. It all worked out for him.
Yeah, no, he made the right decision. Again, if the Lions wanted to succeed with Jared Goff, they would have done more in the offseason to try to bring in more wide receiver help in free agency or even in the draft. They could have gotten Terrence Marshall Jr., who went well past the lineman they took. He fell in the draft. You didn't take him. He goes out Carolina week 1 in the preseason, dominates. I mean, if they wanted Jared Goff to succeed, they would have surrounded him with pieces for him to succeed. What they're going to do, like they already told you, they're going to game manage, meaning they can't play offense. Game managing means they don't have an offense. It means they're going to try not to make mistakes. They're going to try not to commit turnovers in their own half, and that's it.
That's code word for
we suck.
We're going to suck, but we can't tell you that because you wouldn't buy tickets.
Thank you.
That's what that's all about.
Look.
All right, but how much of this negativity can we put on Goff when our offense is the way that it is?
Can I ask you a question?
What?
How come you never use anyone's first name?
What?
You always call somebody Goff,
Swift,
Okudah.
You never.
I was just my boy Jeff. I don't know him like that. You want me to start doing that?
No, I'm just saying.
All right, my best friend Jared. How much?
No. 2 things I've discovered about you is you are a tucker. You tuck your shirts in.
Not today. Can't fit
Not
it all.
today. Yeah, you can't tuck. Yeah, that thing would be tucked down to your knees. And you use only last names. I'm just an observer. That's all.
Thank you, Terry.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying.
Okay. But what I was saying.
Mama gave us a first name.
Mama did.
Yeah, you just
Daddy gave us the last name.
You just can't call me Foster.
I say T-Foss.
Okay.
Terry, quick comment in the chat. Was Golladay good or was Matthew Stafford great?
Was
Golladay good or Matthew Stafford great? Matthew Stafford wasn't great. I think Golladay was good. He wasn't very good. He wasn't great either. So
I think he was good.
I think good is a fair statement. That's why he got paid a ridiculous amount of money to go to New York. But back to Jared Goff again. He's not in a position to win. So like I don't want to just come out and say the Lions aren't heading. They're heading in the right direction, Terry. They are.
But it's a 3-year process.
Thank you. It's 4 first-round picks in the next 2 seasons. You're going to draft a quarterback. You're going to move on from Jared Goff. Like, this is okay. This is a good thing for a Lions fan. They haven't been in a situation like this, Terry, in my lifetime where you could look down in 3 years and say, you know what? God,
I want to challenge you on something.
Okay.
Riddle me this, Batman. What's the bigger lie? That Jared Goff looks like Drew Brees, or I don't look at Jared Goff as a stopgap. Those are 2 statements the Lions have said in the last few weeks. Which one is the bigger lie?
The bigger lie is the stopgap. He's gone. His ass is gone. I'm already telling you. Dan Campbell texted me. He is ready to prepare his luggage come July 2023. He's going to kick his ass out. Hell, even in February. He'll do it early. Depends on how much money they lose if they cut
Are you driving the limo to the airport?
I will personally drive the limo to the airport. I will buy Jared Goff Chick-fil-A for the day, and I'll take him to the airport. I'll treat him nice. I'll buy him a first-class ticket to wherever he wants to go.
I hope you have the Chick-fil-A gap because you're going to miss that plane. Those lines
are ridiculous. But, yeah, no, the stopgap the stopgap is definitely the bigger lie. Jared Goff, you can compare it to Drew Brees, as a 48-year-old maybe. That's about it. So at least I can make the comparison. But no, he's a stopgap quarterback. Nothing you can say to convince me otherwise. They told you everything.
The Jared Goff thing might actually be accurate as I think about it.
To Brees or
the Drew Brees thing might be.
He doesn't have
accurate.
a Harry Potter watermark on his face.
He doesn't, and Drew Brees, the last couple years has not been Drew Brees.
Well, there you go. Jared Goff over the last 3 years has just been a turnover machine. Can't throw the ball downfield like he used to. I mean, it's that simple. He's going in a worse situation. He left L.A., a Super Bowl contending team, to the Detroit Lions, who are in a rebuild. Yet we expect him to play better. Somebody explain that to me. Just common sense.
Because people around here always hope for the best. They're Pollyannas. And for whatever reason, I cannot figure this out. They always believe in the best in the Detroit Lions.
It's okay to believe as long as you're a part of.
But why do you keep believing when they keep failing to do that?
Well, because they're delusional. But like, you can have faith that in 3 years this team is going in the right direction. They'll be very good. Just don't tell me this year. They're not. They're just not. So when they start off 2-8, and we're here in November, and I'm sitting here telling you it's okay. Daddy's here. Everything's gonna be okay. This team is heading in the right direction, even though the win-loss column isn't pretty. I can guarantee you They're going to be a very good team if they just make the right decisions in the offseason. If they draft a quarterback, if they address skill positions, this could be a very good contending divisional team in 2 seasons.
Have you watched the movie The Exorcist?
Yes.
Remember when, what's her name, Reagan spun her head?
Yep.
I'm going to make you spin your head right now.
Why is that?
Lions are going to beat San Francisco at home in the first game of the season.
Okay.
Because that's what they do. They win a game like that.
They're not supposed to win.
They're not supposed to win. And they do it early, so now you think, okay.
Oh, shit,
they beat San Francisco. Here we go. That 10-7 limo
Terry,
is
I
going
can
to be.
totally see that happening. Devin, I disagree. Sam Howell, no. I'm not a big fan of Howell. I'm a big fan of Rattler, though. I think Rattler would be a great piece. You disagree?
Oh, we're talking about.
Yeah. They're throwing out quarterbacks.
You got to say his first name, too, Adam.
That is true.
They're telling me I need venti coffees and some Viagra. That we need.
Oh, you need a couple.
I need to lighten up.
Little squirts of.
I need to lighten up. I'm just giving it the truth. I mean, people like to rip on Joey Harrington. Look at the situation he walked in. He walked into a coaching tree where everybody came from Bill Walsh, and when they were sitting in, and he came out in an interview and said this. Joey Harrington said, verbatim, I sat in the film room. They were going over pass protection, and I identified that there was going to be a free blitzer that was going to get to me no matter what we did if we didn't change the scheme. And Mariucci's answer was, Bill Walsh never did it this way. Your job is to make that guy miss. Joey Harrington is supposed to make that guy miss back in the day. Like, these guys are set up for failure when they join the Detroit Lions. So, like, you can point out Joey Harrington was a bust, but I can give you 50 reasons why.
Bad organization.
Thank you.
Bad coaching.
So
and
again.
Joey, I hate to take the word of Joey Harrington, Mr. Joey Blue Skies.
Yes.
Everything was positive. Everything was good. Now he's talking. Good for you. Congratulations. I take that one with a grain of salt.
I don't. I've seen it on the field. I've seen them not able to protect him or any quarterback that came following. Then Mariucci got fired. They moved on. Then they couldn't protect the quarterback, and they haven't done anything well.
But do you know what happened when Mariucci was fired? There was a players' meeting. Dre Bly, a guy that was probably on the downside of his career, but a guy that I respect, screamed at his teammates, y'all let a good coach go. This is your fault. This is on us. And then they ended up – who was after Mooch? I mean, they had –
Mooch after Mooch was
they had Morningweg. They had Mooch.
Morningweg was after
before that, but of all those coaches, Mooch was the only one that those guys felt could actually coach.
Even prior, so we're including the Schwartz and the and the Jim Caldwell.
They thought Schwartz could coach, but he was too much of a hothead. And you need –
and then Jim Caldwell was too damn quiet and wasn't aggressive enough late in football games.
True, but they played their ass off for him. That team was not good, but they still – I think they overachieved under Jim Caldwell. But he just couldn't –
Really? I think they peaked year one, and then the roster was just meh for the following 3 years. And, yeah, they were 9-7, but you look at the 9-7 years they had, Terry, they won – what, 18 wins? So I believe the number is 14 of those wins came on last-minute fourth-quarter comeback drives. Now you can say, wow, that's a big accomplishment.
It's a 60-minute game, though.
Thank you.
Supposed to play all 60 minutes to see what happens.
All right, well, we got a very, very special guest joining us. Osam, how you doing, buddy?
I just sit right in and get at it,
You can get right at it.
Now, is that his first name or last name?
Osam is my first name, too.
Okay, because Kennedy only calls people by their last name.
So she doesn't know who you are, basically, is what Terry's getting at.
Very good. Well, thanks, Kennedy. I appreciate that.
Well, man, thanks for having us out here. It's looking really good. Kind of tell us everything about Levels, what you guys are looking to accomplish, what you're trying to do not only in the community, but you're doing a ton of giveaways. You're really involving your workers. I mean, it's a really good culture here.
Yeah, we overall, your success comes from, who you surround yourself with. So we wanted to make sure that first and foremost, our team was filled with really good people, nice people. So we wanted to start from scratch and really train a lot of people and bring people on board that don't really have that cannabis experience. somebody paid it forward to me and, brought me into the, the cannabis business. So, we want to pay it forward and give people as many opportunities as possible. But with that said, we've taken the time, we've really trained our people, kind of gone through like a bud tender university, made sure that everybody was really confident in their skill set and what they know about. We want to make sure that when we have people coming into our stores, they get a great experience and they're, getting qualified for their purchase. Like, we want to make sure that when people are coming into our store, they're actually, getting what they're looking for, whether it's just having a good time or trying to take care of an ailment. Woodward Sports, I know a lot of athletes that have transitioned off of, painkillers and stuff like that and have gone on to like, different types of edibles or different types of things like that where, where it's coming from. You don't see a bunch of different ingredients like it's a cereal box or something, Now,
I have a bitch about your industry, and I'm hoping you can make it better for me.
Give it to me.
I cannot sleep.
Okay.
So I this was before all you guys got your little Michigan license and stuff there. I ordered something online, and it was like, to make it help you sleep, and I was taking some droplets or some stuff. First of all, it didn't help me go to sleep.
Okay.
And I thought I was paying $8.99 for this, and they kept billing me month after month after month. I said, what's going on here? And they said, well, if you looked at the fine print, it was like it's a continuous billing, but you're not getting any extra product.
So, Terry, first and foremost, that sounds like an old person problem. Okay, so we're going to remedy all that real quick for you, okay? Any kind of extra billing you get moving forward, you call me and I got your back. I'm going to call them up for you. I'm going to take care of it. Anything in life.
Okay, I don't need painkiller. I need to go to sleep. Can you help me go to sleep?
Absolutely. So, someone in your situation, which, surprisingly watching enough Detroit sports that you can't just fall asleep anytime you turn on a game. But with that said, what we can do is we can kind of like set you up with something more of a, like I mentioned, an edible, you know what I mean? And I think that would probably be better for you, something indica derived, which is leaning more towards, letting you get that good night's sleep comfortably. You don't feel groggy in the morning. And that's a really nice thing about doing things like this is the after effects compared to like alcohol consumption is, very, very different. So with that said, we actually have some great deals today, Terry. So we'll be able to hook you up. We have like buy one, get one with pretty much like every vendor that's going to be participating today. We have a huge festival type event set up at the back of our store, food trucks, giveaways, a lot of really good promotions. So we'll definitely be able to hook you up with some really good deals.
All right, you help me go to sleep, but I'm not going to wake up crazy like Adam.
No.
Yeah.
But if you do want to get crazy like Adam and like let's say you want to do some laundry or something like that, we could definitely set that up.
The problem is, Terry can't fall asleep at night. I just don't sleep. So I'm maybe like operating on 2-3 hours, consistently every day.
You don't sleep, you wait.
Like
Chuck Norris.
I can't sleep.
A lot of times we all think we're moving a mile a minute, and sometimes it's good to just kind of decompress towards like the end of the day and really get some time to yourself and get that relaxation going. It's very hard for someone like me, for example, to come home and just decompress when I walk into the house. I still have a million things going on in my mind. So when I have the opportunity and there really isn't anything that pressing, I like to, relax and do my thing.
So Terry has another bitch fit, which is he's not happy with his car. And I've known it's actually that Jeep right over there. And I noticed you guys are giving away a Dodge Challenger. Can you kind of walk me through on how Terry can potentially win
I think I'm ineligible because I work for the network.
Yeah, so we have to check on that eligibility. But I have to say, first and foremost, it's kind of funny. Somebody, when Terry was pulling into the lot, had no idea of how to drive and almost got in an accident with Terry. And I went up to the guy and I'm like, don't they understand? They almost killed a national treasure. You know what I mean?
He was only going 3 miles an hour, so I would have been okay, but the car probably would have had like $8,000 in damage or something like that.
God forbid. But so part of our promotion and for the next, I believe we're at about 55 days now. So for the next 2 months, around there. We're going to be raffling off a 2021 Dodge Challenger. We're really excited about it. The cool thing about it more than anything is just, there's so many different ways that you can enter to win. If you download our app, if you go online, if you go on your social and like our post for the raffle, Just a ton of different ways coming in and shopping with us and just making a visit to the store.
So,
any one of those entries, you can continuously accumulate them. It gives you more entries, more opportunities to get in there and win that car.
I love it. Could you walk us through, an ideal walkthrough of a customer experience here at Levels? Like, what are they expecting to get themselves into when they're coming out for the first time, and they're really trying to like establish themselves with not only a reputable dispensary, but a dispensary that's going to go above and beyond for them?
Yeah, I would say first and foremost, just hospitality and customer service. That's what we want to hang our hats on. You know what I mean? So you'll get that when you get to the store. We go above and beyond. We try to make sure that when you're at the bud tender station, like I said, we really want to flesh you out. We want to make sure that what you're coming in for is exactly what you need. So if you're going out and hanging out with your friends and playing a round of golf and you guys are looking for a couple of pre-rolls, we can definitely set you up for that. If God forbid, you're suffering from, Lyme disease or something like that, and you need something to kind of help with that ailment, we can recommend that as well. So even something as simple as just getting a better night's sleep, and us being able to point you in the right direction comfortably and making sure that you're getting that experience that you really should be getting. We want to give you value for your dollar. We're working with, the best in the industry as far as brands that we're representing. Even this weekend, we've got the best in the industry that we're representing. So we really want to put a focal point on, the product that we're putting out there and the customer service experience you'll get when you get it.
All right, brother, here's a key thing. I am a marijuana moron.
Okay.
What about education?
Yes.
I don't want to come in and just say, well, I don't know. How can you help a marijuana moron?
I'll say this, Terry, and this is literally the first lesson I learned in this industry. I got hired in as in a director position, and kind of came in and walked behind the counter and started pointing out stuff, what a guy like that would do, and started talking to customers and got humbled really quick as far as how smart the cannabis consumer is. And then, you want to take it a step further, the cannabis grower, which, there are a ton of them in Michigan, is very smart as far as what they're doing. They're extremely knowledgeable. So you can't fake it till you make it in this industry. You have to actually know what you're talking about, because, the wrong recommendation could put you in the wrong situation. I would say that when you come to our store, when you ask a question, it does get fleshed out. It's not one of those, oh, we'll get back to you, or hey, let me, nonchalantly, if we don't know the answer, we're going to pull out our phone and Google it for you and find out together. And then we know for the next person that comes in. So we want to give you that good experience, Terry, the one that you deserve.
Now, when we come in, do you just get your stuff and get the hell out of here, or can you hang out here, or how's that going to work?
So for today, actually, when you do come shop with us, you'll be able to take part of the festivities that we have. Like I said, we have a ton of vendors. All the promotions and deals that we're giving away are great, but, these guys are here. They want to talk about their brands. They want to give value to your purchase as well, as far as representing themselves. And in addition to that, we want to make sure that, all the free stuff that we're handing out, all the cool tchotchkes that come along with a promotion like this, people should just come by. And for those that are watching today that are going to be out for the Dream Cruise tomorrow, we've got a ton of promotions for the Dream Cruise too. So I think we're about 5 minutes from Woodward, about 10 minutes from Woodward, so from the freeway. So
awesome. I know you guys are featuring a lot of products today from different brands, but you're also coming out with Grizzly Gas. Could you kind of explain to me and Terry, who have no idea what exactly it is, and everyone at home, really, what is Grizzly Gas? Obviously, it was a partnership with T Grizzly, but, what is the purpose of it?
Yeah, so, we had an opportunity. He was looking to partner with somebody as far as, a Detroit brand, a Detroit company that could kind of represent and paint the picture of what he was looking to put out there, as far as from the logos to the strain-specific flower that we're putting inside of the packaging, the branding, everything along those lines. It was a great way to build a relationship just off of each other's wants and needs. So what we were able to do is put together some awesome looking packaging, set them up really well, and offer his strain flower, or his flower, at our store. Levels Centerline is the only store that's carrying it right now. The next store that'll be carrying it will be Levels Muskegon. That store will be open up next month, and then we've got 14 additional locations that will be opening up by the middle of next year.
Oh, so you about to rock this whole thing.
We're going to cover the whole mitten.
All right, now you could have, I'm sure you could have done anything in life. You could have been an airline pilot, brain surgeon, football player. Why this industry? What's the thrill for you when you come to work and and deal with this product?
So my past life was hospitality, food and beverage, nightlife. I was in that industry for 20 plus years. I actually have a funny story for you, Terry. When the Super Bowl was in town, if we have time, I can tell it over the air. But it's great.
I had a good time doing that Super Bowl.
So real quick, we were at the Super Bowl. We were at this nightclub called Elysium in downtown Detroit on Shelby and Congress. And I was sitting at a table with Dre Bly and Torrey Holt, the Rams receiver. And Donovan McNabb walked up, and they were all talking. And you remember this was right around that time when Donovan McNabb and T.O. had that big falling out in the huddle during the year before, whatever it was, getting out of the team. So McNabb walks up, and these guys are all smoking cigars talking, and all of a sudden Dre Bly goes, "Hey, T.O., what's going on?" This guy's face looked like he saw a ghost, dropped his drink, turned around, he wasn't there. Everybody started laughing. So that's always a story that reminds me. Because you guys said something about Dre Bly, I just had to tell that story.
Now, you might be the keeper of a huge Detroit sports secret.
Yeah.
Did Terry Fair hit the wall with his fist and break it in your club?
Oh, I don't know about that, man. I wasn't there for that.
That means yes.
No, I don't know about that. Yeah, I wish I had some. No, I'd write a book.
But supposedly they said he fell on his driveway and he broke his hand, but you immediately heard that he wanted to hit his woman, miss, and punch the wall in a nightclub downtown.
But if he was trying to punch a woman, he gets everything he deserves.
But he missed. He missed.
Well, he missed, or he made the right decision by not connecting, because if he would have connected.
Somebody should have punched him if he tried to punch a woman. Yeah, that's horrible.
So that's one of the Detroit big secrets somebody knows about. I thought you might be the key.
No. The only reason why the Dre Bly thing came up is because I heard you guys talking about it while I've been walking by. And
Dre Bly was really pissed when they fired Steve Mariucci because he looked at the players and said that was our fault.
Yeah, 100%. And he's 100% right. He's not lying.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
guys.
For joining
thank you so much for being here.
You got to come out. One thing about the Levels ladies.
Yeah,
all these fine women here. They're going to be here all day.
Yeah, we're representing all the brands, so they're going to be here hanging out with us, and it's going to be an awesome weekend. So, like I said, if you guys are going to be around, take advantage of the deals that we've got, and come check us out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Osam, for joining us. When we get back, Terry and I are going to discuss Isiah Thomas. Was he an underappreciated superstar? We'll do that next, right after the break.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire a graduate of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back, everyone. We are out here at Levels. This is the Morning Woodward Show. Excited to be back. You guys, what an awesome interview. What a cool place that we've got here.
Mm-hmm.
So, Isiah Thomas. Terry, I can't wait to hear your take on this because you are like NBA king over here. So, we were talking about GOATs the other day. So, do you think Isiah Thomas is underappreciated? Do you think he's a superstar? Could he be a GOAT in the future?
He is underappreciated. I like how his star falls every year. But I got to see Isiah play live most of the time. The dude was bad. I mean, bad as in he did incredible things that it was like magical. And back in the day when we talked about the greatest point guards of all time, you would talk about Magic Johnson and Isiah Thomas.
Yes.
was number 2. Some way, somehow, he keeps falling, even though the players who are passing him are not as good as he was. Isiah Thomas provided something that most NBA stars don't. Not only was he a great player, but he created a mindset in Detroit that championships are what it's all about. The Pistons were never supposed to win a championship. It was supposed to be the Lakers, Boston, and Chicago. That's the way it was supposed to go because NBA has a pecking order. Some way, somehow, the Pistons made 3 NBA Finals and won 2 championships and were a phantom foul away, perhaps from winning a 3rd championship. And I've been told this, and this is the Bill Laimbeer foul on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that was not a foul, but the reason that they called the foul on Bill Laimbeer is because of what he did previously. Is what he did. It
was a makeup call.
6 months. No,
it was
not even a makeup call.
It was like back at gotcha.
Yeah,
it was a gotcha call.
It wasn't even based on something that happened in that series. It's things that happened years ago.
Accumulated over time.
Right.
He had a bad rep, and that's what cost them. But again,
Isiah Thomas, who scored 25 points and a quarter on one leg.
Yeah, for me, I don't think history appreciates, especially modern now. You have your Steph Currys, your Russell Westbrooks, all these guys people love to fall in love with, but they forget just how much of an alpha superstar Isiah Thomas was. When I do a top 5 point guard list, it starts with Magic and Isiah. And there's no way you can convince me Steph is up there. He's not number 2. There's nobody that, in all of the NBA's history, in my opinion, nobody could be number 2 for Isiah. But Kennedy, what do you think?
Geez, I don't really know. I mean,
or it's Kennedy would call him Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas. I mean, I'd probably agree with Adam. He's really up there for all-time point guards. But I don't know. How bad does the MJ feud really hurt Thomas's legacy? I'm not sure. I don't know. Man.
It does. He challenged the NBA when he did that.
Okay.
And I have a slightly different take than everybody else. We all assume that Michael Jordan kept Isiah Thomas off the Dream Team, that it was based on the feud that the Pistons and the Bulls had. Yep. I think it was Scottie Pippen that kept him off the Dream Team. Because Scottie Pippen was chirping in Michael Jordan's ear, saying, "Man, we don't want this dude on the team." And then Michael's like, "Yeah, you cool." I think Michael Jordan and Isiah Thomas are a lot alike. That if they and in fact, they have hung out in recent years. They've done things together. They've talked and they've had, civil conversations. But Michael Jordan is not hanging out with Scottie Pippen every day. So that relationship is a lot better than it's perceived in the media. Mm-hmm. And who's missing from the equation? Scottie Pippen. That's the MF that we should be looking at.
I agree.
Tell him, Terry.
I don't like Scottie Pippen.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people have beef with that guy.
Scottie Pippen is your typical, the clear definition of what a B is. Mm-hmm. I don't want to swear right now. So
yeah, you're
Good
right.
job,
He's
Adam.
not a dick. He's a bitch.
Thank you, Terry.
Terry will do it for
Terry
you.
will do it for me. I'm gonna appreciate that.
That's
Terry.
what I'm here for. I'm here to take the heat.
You look back at Isiah Thomas's career. He was not only a superstar. He could take over the games. He could facilitate. And let's not forget, when he came into the league, everybody talked about Magic. Magic, changing the game, doing things nobody saw. Zeke came on and dribbled like nobody could. Nobody could dribble like Zeke could his first 3, 4, 5 years. Nobody in the league was dribbling that way. Nobody was dribble penetrating the way Zeke was. And again, I'll always fight for Zeke, in my opinion, the second best point guard of all time. You can't put any of these guys over him. He was a different guy. You can look at the ankle game. You can look at the championships. I'm sorry. The true definition of what a superstar is: a leader, a guy who can score, facilitate. He can help the team. I really think a travesty that he's I think forgotten. I think he's forgotten a little bit when we discuss one of the greats.
And one of the things Isiah had to learn was people always ask, well, if he was so great, how come Isiah Thomas didn't average 25 or 26 points a game? How come he didn't bust a bunch of 40-point games? I'll tell you why. One man prevented Isiah Thomas from doing that. His name was Will Robinson. Will Robinson is a Hall of Fame coach who the Pistons hired, and he was on their scouting department, and he called everybody champ. And he would say to Isiah, champ? You really want to win all this stuff? You can't be scoring so much. You got to make John Sally better. You got to make Rick Mahorn better. You got to make Bill Laimbeer better. That's your job. Your job is not to make you look good. It's to make everybody else look good. Mm-hmm. Once Isiah understood that balance between getting the assists and the points, his point production went down. But his production as a player went up.
His value went up. And,
right.
You know, again, this is what happened with MJ. MJ came into the league. He showed he could score 38, 39 points a game. All right, cool. You're the best player in the game. We all got it. But he had to take that next step where he became valuable to his teammates, and that's what he did under Phil Jackson, and that's why he ended up winning 6 championships. It's that simple. He learned how to make his teammates better. And when you do that, that's when you take that next level as a superstar. It's the reason why James Harden, in my opinion, not a superstar. Russell Westbrook, not a superstar. These guys are not superstars. Increase your standard of what you're calling these people, because when you're going to call Russell Westbrook a superstar, that means he's on the level of an Isiah Thomas. Now, our Westbrooks, your Lillards, your James Hardens, are these guys like star players? Sure. Very good.
But
but there's a difference.
The definition of a superstar has changed over the years.
Unfortunately.
And if you can James Harden is considered a superstar because people like him, and he does this stupid little step-back three. He travels. He does all kinds of ridiculous things, but he does not win. By yesterday's standards, he is not a superstar. By today's standards, he is a superstar.
Terry, I want to punch somebody in the face in the chat.
I hope it's not me. In the chat.
I hope they're right, and maybe I'm wrong. I'd like to be wrong on this, but this is a very, very stupid comment. Isiah Thomas only won versus those big names because Dumars would shut Jordan down. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Here, I'll give you a little secret. Joe Dumars didn't always guard Michael Jordan. He did primarily 70. I would say 70% of the time. The other guy guarding was Dennis Rodman. Sometimes they would say, Chuck would look at Dennis, you got him now. And Dennis was like, all right, cool. Because they wanted to give Jordan a different look. And 10% of the time, Isiah guarded Jordan because they wanted to give him, here's a quick guy. Here's a guy who's sturdy, like Dumars, and here's a guy who's very athletic and tall in Rodman. So they felt they had to give him a different look. The other thing, Joe did not guard Michael Jordan one-on-one. That never happened. There were Jordan rules, and I know everybody's denying it, and they say that's bullshit. There were Jordan rules. And the Jordan rules meant 2 or 3 guys were guarding him or eyeballing him, and they're trying to funnel him into a certain spot on the floor. Now, it didn't always work. In fact, most of the time it didn't work, but it worked well enough for the Pistons to hold the Bulls off, who were supposed to win championships in 89 and 90, but it didn't happen. So to say that Joe Dumars guarded Michael Jordan is inaccurate. The team did, and there were Jordan rules, and Joe knew he had to try to funnel Michael to a certain spot, which he had the strength to do, but he funneled him to John Sally, to Dennis Rodman.
They made him work.
Whomever. He had to work for it.
They made him work for his points. And, that was like Jordan's evolution, though. That's what got Jordan to where he did, because he realized he couldn't just do it by himself. He needed to get stronger, and he needed to be a willing passer because he would take on the paint against Detroit, and that didn't work out a majority of the time, and that's why we saw the Pistons make 3 finals appearances. But again, Zeke, I really believe, is one of if not the most underappreciated superstars in the history of the game. I think he's totally disrespected. I think people forget just how good he was, and this notion that Stockton was a better point guard, or even Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, even the modern point guards today like a Steph Curry are better. I mean, I don't want to be the guy that, the game, it's not about that the game was different. The guy was just a better player. And at the end of the day, I would take Isiah Thomas over a majority of these guys that people like to put over him.
Yeah, I've got to chirp up with the whole Stockton thing. Now there are a lot of people who believe John Stockton was a better point guard than Isiah Thomas. That's baloney. John Stockton, look at his games that he played. That scoring crew gave him a bunch of assists. He didn't have 12 assists a games. Maybe it was 9 or 10. But in Utah, where we're not watching the game anyway, they would just make sure they gave my man assists. Now, later in his career, when people were starting to comparing Stockton and Isiah didn't make the dream team, I would go into that locker room before the game, and I hear from the player, and he said, "Your boy's pissed off." I said, "What's up now?" He says, "Isaiah's about to light Stockton's ass up tonight." Because of the dream team thing and other stuff, and because somebody wrote something that Stockton is the second best point guard in the NBA. Isiah routinely would be on his way to a 40-point game against John Stockton. Now,
Who does that remind you of? Who does that remind you of? What player does that remind you of? When the media comes out and says this guy could be on Isaiah's level or better. We saw this with Clyde and Jordan. Jordan took offense to one of the better shooting guards in the NBA being even compared to him.
Clyde was a child when he played Jordan. And it didn't have to be that way, but Jordan made sure that Clyde Drexler was going to look like a chump whenever they played. If Clyde Drexler was not drafted ahead of him, then Jordan would not have lit him up as much. But that guy needed motivation also.
Yep.
That guy was upset about things. And I don't know if this is a flaw or not, but some of the better players, when they feel disrespected, they elevate their game, sometimes to the detriment of the team. They know they're going to win the damn game. So forget this team basketball. I'm showing you I'm better than this motherfucker tonight.
Absolutely.
If you don't understand that, just watch this game, keep the film, and you're going to know that I am better than this guy.
And that's not to say, that's a knock on John Stockton. He was a very good point guard.
Very good.
Not better than Zeke. Definitely not Magic. John Stockton benefited. I could forget. Didn't he play with the mailman?
Yes.
Didn't he play with one of the greatest scorers in NBA history, in Karl Malone, who was a bucket?
And all they were interested in was winning their little 50 games. They were interested in the mailman getting his 25 points and John Stockton getting his 10, 15 assists a game. They weren't a squad that was looking to win championships, even though they made the NBA Finals.
I don't think they knew how. They made it twice.
Oh, they
I don't
didn't
think
care.
They knew how. They didn't know how. And what I mean by they didn't know how to win a championship is they didn't have that dog. They didn't have that grit as a unit where, hey, I don't care what Jordan's doing tonight.
You been to Salt Lake City?
I haven't, actually.
Okay. The whole mentality of Salt Lake City is a lot different than Detroit. Here in Detroit, we will give you rope to hang yourself, and we'll give you time to win a championship. But if you don't win one after a while, or if you're not contending for one, these people here in Detroit are in your ass. In Salt Lake City, they're like, okay, you haven't contended for a championship in 15 years. Keep going, fellas. You're going to get them one day. We're all behind you. Here they're like, y'all better do something or else I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Even though they won't actually leave you, they'll threaten you.
Terry, you talk about a lot. Well, and you're kind of like the NBA guy. You've seen it like firsthand. When we're talking about these GOATs, a lot of the time we're talking about these guys with a hand or two in the front office. So how do they get to that caliber? How do these players get to the point of making these decisions with the front office?
Well, I think what happens is the front office doesn't look at these guys as employees.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a relationship. We're in a partnership. You have brought greatness to the floor, so therefore you have earned a say in how we run things. Because in order to be a superstar, you just can't be gifted. You just can't be athletic. You have to know the game. So I think the teams at some point say, you know what, we're in a partnership. That's what the Lions don't do. They didn't do it with Ndamukong Suh. They didn't do it with Barry Sanders, even though I'm going to blame Barry most for that. And they didn't do it with Calvin Johnson. They always viewed them as employees. That's why we had the fight about the $1.6 million with Calvin and the $1 million with Barry, which is chump change. They always viewed them as employees and not partners. What the Lakers did and what the Bulls did and what the Pistons said, I say, Michael, Magic, Isiah, we are partners. And now that pisses fans off because they don't like players too much power. They don't like players dictating things. But guess what all those teams did? Won championships, multiple championships. So it may not be a bad idea if you got somebody who is exceptional, who's smart, knows what's going on, and can produce buckets or produce touchdowns for you. Hey, we're in a partnership. We're not, employee and employer.
And that's something Isiah Thomas did so well. He was such a good leader. You look at Stockton, one of the best point guards ever. That's not a debate. He's up there. But he's not Isiah, and he's definitely not Magic. And that's not it's not me to just give a knock on Stockton. He's a very good on-ball defender. I think underrated a little bit. Ton of steals. He's just not to that level, and there's a reason why he never delivered. He couldn't do what Isiah did. So for me, again, we're gonna walk away from this subject. I still believe Isiah Thomas, one of the most underappreciated and underrated superstars of all time. Terry, I think we agree on that.
We agree on that, but one thing we didn't touch on: Isiah was not liked. He was not liked by players.
I think that hurt him.
He wasn't liked by a lot of people, especially fan bases, because what they associate Isiah, Lambeer, Mulhorn. These guys are dicks.
He gets put into the group,
right?
Even though
he did belong because he was the ringleader.
Mm-hmm. He was outspoken. He was the outspoken one of the group.
Right. He wasn't the one giving elbows, but he was dictating. Hey, this guy needs to be on his ass. Rick, you get this today.
Yep.
Bill, you get him tomorrow. So and people knew that. So he was viewed as a dick. He was viewed as a bad guy, and the one thing is words always dictate things. Instead of saying Isiah could do whatever he needs to do to win a game, they called him the smiling assassin. Instead of saying he broke you down, they would use terminology like he killed you or he assassinated you. And words like that create a perception that he was just this asshole, this mean guy who would do anything he could to win, which part of it was true, but he also...
Isn't that the whole point of being a superstar, is the win at all costs mentality?
It all depends on who you play for. It all depends on where you are. You have to understand, Isiah Thomas and the Pistons disrupted the chain of events in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be Larry Bird against Magic Johnson, and they're going to battle for a decade.
And then they're going to pass the baton over to
When they
Jordan.
got old, Michael Jordan is ready, you're taking it over. And Michael Jordan meant money for the league. Isiah Thomas and the Pistons did not mean a lot of money for the league.
Yes.
The superstardom of Jordan and what he became meant the league could
exponentially grow to a level that
the Pistons messed that up.
The Pistons could never do for them.
Now, we're happy about it in Detroit, but everywhere else they're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Not these guys.
Well, Terry, before we head out of here, I kind of wanted to get an idea of what you're planning for the weekend. Obviously, you're not watching the Lions tomorrow. So
I am not. I refuse to watch those clowns.
Art gets so upset. I love it. I probably will tune in. I can't help it. I just love football, and I bet on football a lot. So I'll be doing that. I'll be here over the weekend. A lot of us will be here over the weekend celebrating Levels' grand opening. Thank you so much to everybody at Levels for having us today. The Big D Energy, they're live, 11:01 today. Same spot, same location. Come check them out. Darren McCarty, Neil Rule going to be down here. It's going to be a good time. Thank you so much for joining us today, Terry. Thank you so much for...
I had a good time.
It was a good time. Like you.
3-day stint.
I appreciate it.
And they wanted me to come here and calm you down. Guys, I am so sorry to report that I failed, but I did my best. Sorry.
I don't think it's about calming me down. I think people just don't like what I say, but, then again, truth hurts. So, Kennedy, thank you so much. Alex, thank you again. Fish, keep doing what you do. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Well, no, tomorrow's the weekend. Holy shit,
Oh,
Darren.
don't forget this young man right here.
I'm not giving him credit. Thank you, Art.
Artists.
Thanks, Art.
We are happy you're here. And you know what? My day is better because you were here.
I wish I could say the same. I wish I could say the same. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Jeff will be back Monday.
Woo.
Juicy.